Hi everyone, welcome back to MSCR Makes. I'm Miss Julia, and today we're going to be learning how to do Fizzy watercolors. This is a project in two parts. I'll show you all the supplies that you need to gather, how to do the first part, and then how to do the second part. You will need to wait a little bit between the two parts for your paper to dry. The things that you'll need for this project are some watercolor. Remember, if you do not have watercolor, you can always use some food coloring instead. You'll need a paintbrush, some paper towel, just in case. Some paper, whatever size you have, will work just fine. The lighter colors do tend to work better for this one because you'll want your watercolor to be able to show up on it. Some baking soda, a small bowl. I'm going to use two different types of brushes, but you can just use one if you only have one. I'm also going to be using a larger sponge brush for the first part. You'll need some water, something to mix with like a spoon, and then some vinegar. So if you do not have vinegar, you could also use lemon juice or any other type of vinegar that you have at your own home. It doesn't have to just be the white vinegar. What we want is a liquid that is acidic. So I'll pause here so that you can go collect all of your supplies. Okay, now that you've had a chance to collect your supplies, I'm going to move some things out of the frame so that we have some more room to work. The things that I'll need for the first part of this project are the water, the baking soda. I'm going to use my larger sponge brush, but remember, you can use whatever brush you have on hand, a small bowl, my paper, and something to mix with. I'm using a spoon. So the first thing we're going to do is prep or prepare the paper that we're going to be working on. To do this, I'm going to mix a small amount of baking soda with a little bit of water. What you want is sort of a very loose sort of mixture. Try to get the baking soda to dissolve. If it doesn't fully dissolve, that's okay. It's not about making it perfect. We just want to be able to have it loose enough to be able to paint onto our paper. The next thing I'm going to do is dip my brush into my water and baking soda mixture and gently push it onto my paper. I'm trying to cover up my whole piece of paper with the mixture. Can you see how the paper now has some little grainy texture on it? That's from the baking soda, and that's what you want to see. You will now need to set your paper aside for 5 to 10 minutes. If you used a lot of water, it might take longer than 10 minutes, but otherwise it should only take 5 to 10 minutes. So you can pause the video here and wait for your paper to dry. I've already made a paper up ahead of time so that I could show you the rest of the project. Let me move some things out of the way. For the second part of the project, we'll need our dry piece of paper. You can kind of see how there's some baking soda residue on there still. I'll need my vinegar, a small bowl, my watercolors, and my paintbrush. Remember, if you don't have watercolor, you can use food coloring instead. For this step, what you would do is put a little bit of your vinegar in your small bowl and then color it with the food coloring. If you have watercolor, what you'll do is have a grown-up help you open up your vinegar and carefully pour a little bit into your bowl. we're going to be using the vinegar instead of water for our watercolors today. It's going to have a reaction with the baking soda we've already put on our paper, and it will make a fizzy painting. So I'll get my brush nice and wet in my vinegar, pick the color I want to use, and rub, rub, rub to get a whole bunch of color onto my paintbrush, and then I can start painting shapes. Do you see how some little bubbles are forming? That's from the reaction between the baking soda and the vinegar. I'm going to try to move my paper up a little closer to you so you can see it even better. Whoa, look at all of those bubbles. If you're very quiet, you might be able to hear it when you do this project yourself. Remember, you can prep more than one piece of paper and then you'll have a lot of things to paint on. I hope you enjoyed this painting project for today. I'll see you next time. Bye!